or from autos. Zeal gave 20% crit, meaning auto damage went up, or my crit multiplier from 1.0 to 1.2, meaning crits went up from 1.0 to 1.2. So I had 0% crit, so I crit 0% of the time. It went up to 1.2, where I crit 20% of the time. Meaning my crit multiplier for DPS plus auto damage calculations became, so 80 times attack speed, ASPD, times crit value times crit. So this will give you how many, like if you do 100 autos, you do 100 autos. We'll say within those 100 autos, I crit 0 times if I have 0 crit chance. I crit 20 times if I have 20 crit chance. Blah blah blah. You know, we're just gonna make it a big number. Obviously, it's fake. It's not a true number. This isn't a true value. This isn't gonna give us the value for every time. But for t equals infinity, so let's say we play a fucking 1,000 games. Play 1,000 games. This is what we're gonna get out of it. 88 times attack speed times crit value times crit multiplier. Crit multiplier only matters for champions that have that you have crit damage changed at all. So like Yasuo is the only one who has his crit damage changed, and then Fiora and Shaco for his Q. So those are the only ones that really matter for the crit multiplier. Otherwise, crit multiplier, almost anyone equals 1.0 and 1.5 when they have IE. Okay, so my AD equals 192. Oh my God, Rengar's banned, dude. We'll go Riven, I guess. You got two choices, because Riven's open. If I'm playing, if I'm staying in the game, I'm playing Riven. If I'm dodging, I'm dodging. Anyway. Our AD was 192 because we bought the Tiamat. Our attack speed equals negligible. We have auto cancels, plus we know our base AD damage formula. 6.67 of base AD because we do a 5-stack Q. Crit value equals 1.0 or 1.2. We're comparing 1.0 versus 1.2. And crit multiplier equals 1.0. So 192 AD times, we don't care about the attack speed because this is for several autos. This is for triple Q. Can you go tanky top? 6. What are we against? These guys? Shit, let's fix this. Yo, actually, let's go fucking let's go armor pen. Do this. If we're dodging, let's check the straw polls. Straw poll says dodge. All right, we'll dodge. I'm sorry for anyone who voted for Riven. I got to do what the viewers want. We'll continue doing some math for the stream and explaining how build choices change depending upon your flat AD, your crit, your move speed, etc. So right here, I was valuing damage because I already have my armor pen choice. Oh yeah. Build for one shot depends upon sources of damage. We have several sources. We have armor pen, finite. We can't get that. There are only 3 different items that give armor, like flat actual armor pen. There are 2 items that give % armor pen, and there's 1 item that gives armor shred. So those are going to be armor pen equals flat, shred or percent pen, right? And that's based on their extra armor, so that only works against tanks. I picked up Lord Dominic's because Singed had a lot of armor. When you're running an armor pen page, such as the 35 flat armor pen page that I was running, the 19 armor pen plus the precision mastery, you have a ton of armor pen as it is. So getting extra armor pen really works against people. He went from, oh, it actually said 40%. Does it still get 40%? It's not 40% of his actual. So it was 60% or 40% shredded off of, I'm going to assume, about 140. So he lost 56 armor out of his 210, and then from there he lost an additional he lost an additional 55 armor. So he was at about 100 armor, not 60 armor. Sorry about that. I was calculating like it was old Last Whisper in the game when I said that. Anyway, so flat equals Yumus. The Ma, or the 1100 item, I don't even know what it's called. I have no clue what that shit's called. It's retarded. You don't keep that item, you build other shit. Shred equals, shred means I reduce their armor. Shred equals Black Cleaver. An additional source equals my exhaust. And up to 30% total armor shred. And then right here we've got percent pen equals Mortal Reminder or Lord Dominic's, both 40% bonus armor pen. So they penetrate through their bonus armor. These sources, I already grabbed one. I grabbed the Yumus, which is this is the best armor pen item that you're going to grab on Rengar, on one-shot Rengar. Gives you 6580, 20 armor pen, and flat armor pen. Flat pen over... flat pen beats squishies. Shred penetration over sustained fights. And then percent pen over tanks. And it's percent bonus pen, not just percent pen. So these items, if they are tanky, so I chose, and it's not just tanky, it's if they have bonus armor, obviously. So I picked that up because they had 3 different champs that all had a bunch of bonus armor. They also had Ahri getting the Zhonya's. The ADC in almost all cases will not pick up any kind of bonus armor. They'll pick up a Randuin's sometimes. See the queue time. We got another minute 40. So we're hanging out. So I picked up 2 sources of armor pen. I picked up this guy, the Yumus, and I picked up this guy. I picked up Lord Dominic's. I really wouldn't suggest going the Mortal Reminder pretty much ever. It's not that great. Even against a Mundo or something like that, you're giving yourself a ton of extra damage when they have 500 extra armor, or 500 extra HP. I believe it's 15% overall damage. Where is it? So you are doing, 15% bonus physical damage. So against the Singed and against the Lee Sin, I was doing 15% bonus. Against Thresh, I don't believe I was doing any bonus because I had so many levels on him. Those other 2 built HP though. But anyway, I already had my armor pen item. There's another source. Crit equals critical chance, critical multiplier. There's only one source. Crit chance equals you're gonna have Triforce, Essence Reaver, IE. What else is a good source? Is the static, and Triforce, ER, IE, static. I think are our only 4 options currently that I would ever suggest picking up on full build Rengar. And then there's crit multiplier. The only source is IE, okay? And this right here, this crit multiplier, it gets it only affects the damage on your actual crit, like your actual crits, right? So if you hit them 5 times and you don't crit a single time because you bought all you bought was an IE, you're getting 0 mileage out of that extra characteristic. If you have 100% crit, so you hit crit 5 times, you're actually dealing a bonus 1/4 damage overall from autos. IE is huge. The later it is, the better IE is as a pickup. Like the more crit chance you have, the better IE is. The less crit chance you have, the worse IE is. So generally I like to finish 1 crit item and then grab the IE. Other sources, AD equals just flat attack damage, or base AD, which is the Sterix. That's the only one that'll give you base AD. Base AD doesn't affect your E. It affects everything else though. So Sterix, you're still getting some. You're benefiting from Sterix a lot more than a lot of other champs do. Cool. Now, flat 80 choices. Oh yeah, another thing is for your damage is procs. Triforce, static, rapid fire cannon. These are procs. These are things that deal damage. They have an additional thing that just deals damage. Your 80 choices are going to be Yumu's, Lord. Pretty much like almost everything gives you the 80. It's a few of them that don't give you 80. Too many to list, we'll say. Most important equals Tiamat. That's your super important AD choice, because for the early game, the burst, that Tiamat proc is giving you 1.0 of your AD as an additional burst. It's also giving you a little bit of wave clear when they're not around, but that 1.0 AD is huge. That's an extra auto. Just straight up, that's an extra auto. It also gives you 30 flat AD for 1250 gold. It's right here. Great, great item. Really, really underrated by people that don't know what they're talking about and don't know how to play the game. 30 AD, 1.0 AD nuke, right? So, I had my Tiamat. That's my in terms of a perfect world, I'll pick up Tiamat ASAP, Ghost Blade soon after, and then whatever gives most damage. So if I can get 30% crit, sure. If I can get 2k worth of items, so BF sword plus pickaxe, then I'll get that, because it allows me to build into my IE, right? I'll pick up that, I'll grab some crit on my way as I'm building IE, and that's a huge pickup. It really depends for my flat damage, but I value Tiamat for its huge early game damage. I value Yumu's for CDR plus active. Most important part of active is the move speed, both defensively for escapes and offensively for picks. So right here, I already had my Yumu's before I picked up the Tiamat or the other thing, because I was highly valuing the Yumu's because I wasn't contributing. In picks, the damage doesn't matter if you don't get into the fight. If they're playing very defensively and you can't reach the fight, then it doesn't matter how much fucking damage you do, because you do 0 damage when you're not in the fight. Right? So now we'll explain. We had 192 AD times. We'll cross compare our 1.0 crit versus 1.2 crit. So we have a flat amount, and I forget what level I was. I was we'll assume maybe level 11, level 12, right? And around there, I need to fucking write it down. But most of my damage calculations are around level 9, all to cross-compare different first item pickups, because later item pickups are much more easily identifiable. You just fucking, you compare how much damage am I getting from crit, how much damage am I getting from AD, and that's about it. But anyway, we had 192 AD, 1.0 crit multiplier. There's another eye there. 1 point times 1.0 crit value. That's how much crit we have. So, and it's 1.0 because we have 0 crit. We just deal, all we do is autos. When we auto someone, all we do is fucking, we just get a 1.0 multiplier. We don't get crits, we don't get exclamation points, we don't get anything, any kind of bonus damage there. So it's going to be 6.67 times 192 AD. This is for our full combo, and then we're going to get a little change. We're going to have 150. We're going to have 300 flat plus 150 flat. So we're doing about 450 flat damage plus this big portion. And this flat doesn't really go up. We have a 0.7 ratio on our E. The other part is entirely based on auto attacks. It does go up with AD, but it's mainly, like, it goes up with AD right here, this 6.67, but if we purchase 30 AD, that's 1/6 of our AD, or about 2/13 of our AD, right? Or is it 3/13? Think it's around 3/13 of our AD if we grab 30 here, or 3/19. Sorry, there we go. Yeah, that's the math. 3/19 of our AD is going to be 30 AD out of 192. Versus if we grab 20% crit, we're straight up increasing this multiplier right here by 20%. So 1/5. We gain 1/5, or we gain 3/19. Right? And what is the other thing? It's fucking, because it's BF sword, and the BF sword builds into IE or Essence Reaver. Essence Reaver we get no mileage out of. IE, if we have 0 crit percent or 0 crit chance, we don't want the IE yet because it's much less efficient, like how we were talking about up here. This crit multiplier doesn't matter if you have no crit. Like, the least amount of crit you can have if you have IE is 20%, obviously. So all in all, it's gonna, I can't write it out, but the IE, we're gonna spend 1,300 gold on our BF sword, and then we're going to have, we had CDR boots, we had Yumus, we had Tiamat, and then generally we want to have an open slot for pinks, or a mid-tier like builder item, so like Zeal fits there, or we grab what is it? The pickaxe, right? The pickaxe would also fit there in place of Zeal, but we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 is Tiamat, 2 is boots, booties, 3 is Yumus, 4 is pinks, something like that. 5 would have been our BF. 6 equals next item, or component. Generally, I want, instead of the BF, I want it to be the Zeal, because the Zeal builds more fluidly into the next item than the BF does in that mid-game portion of the game. Because I'm, what I can grab next is, so BF pickaxe is going to be the 2175 gold. So I have a flat slot, a slot that I'm not using, a little portion of gold that I'm not using. 14. So I have 25 gold before I can buy anything else, because I need to finish the IE at that point. Oh shit, I wasn't even in there. Let's Let's move all this shit. Let's get into the game. It's really hard.